We landed in Amalfi under a blood-orange sunset. Cliffs glowed behind us. The air smelled of salt and citrus. I smiled as he wheeled our bags through the hotel lobby. Everyone looked at us, the happy couple on vacation. But inside, I wasn't happy, and we weren't a couple. 2 days before takeoff, I saw the message. He showed me his phone to watch a video. A notification popped up, "Wish it was you instead." No name. No explanation. Just words. But those 6 words broke something in me. I processed it slowly, not with tears, not with confrontation, just with a quiet certainty. At check-in, I reserved a separate room under a false name. Paid cash. No questions asked. Tourists do strange things. He never asked why. I spent that night smiling. We drank wine on the balcony. He told me about the guidebook he read on the flight. Named places we'd visit. I listened, laughed when appropriate, took photos. He posted my piece, tagging me. I might have smiled for the camera, but inside I felt far away. When we returned to the hotel that night, he collapsed on the bed. I lay beside him. He slept instantly. I stared at the ceiling, wondering how love could coexist with lies that break people in half. When morning came, the sun was soft and warm. He showered. I packed his passport into my bag, silently extracted from the room safe. I had saved screenshots of messages. Dates. Proof. Memories I would leave behind. The passport was symbolic. His freedom and mine were interlocked, but only one of us would walk away empty-handed. That afternoon, we toured a lemon grove. He tasted liqueur samples. I watched time pass. I measured each second in breaths, preparing for the moment I would bid goodbye, not with shouting or drama, but with silence and departure. Dinner was served on a cliffside terrace. Lights blinked on across the hillside. A band played softly. He toasted, to us, beaming. I raised my glass to clarity. He took a sip, glanced at me, but didn't ask follow-up questions. There was still a chance, even then, for confrontation. But that would be an emotional explosion. I didn't want that. I wanted departure. Without damage. That night, I staged it. At 2 a.m., I left his side quietly, grabbed my bag, pocketed the evidence and the passport, slipped his key card onto the dresser, and walked out. No slam. No confrontation. Just footsteps echoing down the hallway. By 2:30, I was in my separate room. Safe, calm, silent. He wouldn't realize until morning. Then he'd be alone. And I'd be free. I woke late that morning to the sound of my phone buzzing. Messages from him, "Where are you? Are you okay? Please tell me you're safe." I ignored them. His panic lit a small spark inside me, not guilt, just confirmation. I showered, dressed in the linen dress I'd packed, and headed to the hotel cafe. I ordered coffee and sat near a window overlooking the sea. I watched tourists pass by, loungers. My gaze was calm. My pulse was normal. I was everywhere and nowhere. He found me around 10. Dark circles under his eyes. Shirt crumpled. His smile was strained. He slid into the seat across from me, wordless. "Good morning," I said. "Where were you?" he asked. "A little walk," I replied. "Thought you'd be asleep longer." He exhaled, relief and confusion mixing. I was worried. I was thinking. I watched him sip his latte. He tried making small talk, the wine list, tomorrow's weather, boats. I nodded. I smiled. But I didn't lie. I held my eyes steady. Eventually, I asked him, "Moments matter. Do you think mine mattered?" He hesitated. Then said, flatly, of course. We didn't discuss details. His guilt filled the silence. His silence spoke louder than any admission. Later, we went to the cliff view. He pointed at distant boats. I listened. Then I looked at him. You froze yesterday, I said. When she walked by. He blinked. Denial in his eyes. That's not what happened. I saw it, I said. I didn't react. I just saw. And I realized I'm done. He scowled. I stayed calm. I touched his hand. With kindness. But it was the last time I would. That night, I returned to my room first. I left him a note on his pillow, in my handwriting. I walked away without shouting. I hope that stays with you longer than any sound I could make. And that was it. I didn't watch him read it. I didn't linger. I walked out into silence, closing the door. I left the hotel for the afternoon. Walked alone through narrow streets, letting the crowds and sea breeze carry me forward. The hills were steep. The air tasted like salt and old stone. I didn't look at my phone. I didn't think about what he was doing. I didn't need to. I already knew. He was probably pacing the hotel. Asking reception if they'd seen me. Wondering if I was angry or missing or plotting. But I wasn't doing any of those things. I was just walking, step by step, towards something cleaner. Eventually, I returned to the cafe across the street from our hotel. I ordered sparkling water. I opened my notebook and wrote. I didn't leave you in anger. I left you in silence. Because silence is where you placed me for months. After some time, I saw him through the glass. He was walking up the hill, scanning every face. Sweating. Eyes twitching. He looked younger than usual. Or smaller. Or maybe I just felt taller. He spotted me. His whole body sagged in relief. He entered the cafe and approached my table. There you are, he said. Yes, I answered. I've been looking everywhere. I haven't moved. He sat down, out of breath. You're scaring me. I'm not trying to scare you, I said. I'm just not trying to comfort you anymore. He didn't speak. I don't want to fight, he said softly. There's no fight, I replied. It's already over. His eyes welled up. He reached across the table, touched my hand. I let him. But I didn't move toward him. I didn't move at all. What do you want from me? He asked. Nothing, I said. That's the difference now. When I stood up, he did too. Where are you going? Back to my room. Our room. No. I walked out. Calm. Certain. He didn't follow. In the elevator, I breathed deeply. My heart didn't race. My hands didn't shake. Everything was clear. That night, I booked a flight home for the next morning. One way. The sun hadn't risen yet when I left the hotel for the last time. I checked out alone. No luggage beside me, just a small tote and my passport, his, still hidden in my drawer. I gave it to the front desk in a sealed envelope. Deliver to room 301, I said. When he asks. I didn't include a note. He didn't deserve one. The taxi ride to the airport was quiet. I stared out the window and watched the coast disappear. The cliffs, the water, the town, all fading in the rearview mirror. No sadness. No regret. Just space. At the airport, I ordered coffee and sat by the window. Around me, people were saying goodbyes, hugging children, texting friends. I was alone, and it felt like the safest place I'd been in months. The flight boarded on time. I chose a window seat and didn't speak to anyone the entire journey. My journal stayed open on my lap. I wrote one sentence. He thought I was gone. But really, I just started arriving in my own life. Landing felt like a reset. I took a cab to my apartment and entered a quiet, still space. No clutter. No trace of him. It smelled like dust and clean sheets. I opened the windows and let the light in. I unpacked in silence. I didn't rush. I folded everything slowly. Hung up the clothes I had washed in my own choices. I showered, made tea, and sat on my bed, feeling the full weight of my own company. It wasn't lonely. It was whole. My phone buzzed once. A message from him. I don't understand what happened. I deleted it without reading the rest. I didn't need him to understand. I needed him to be exactly where he was, confused, searching, too late. A month later, I saw him. I was in line at a bookstore downtown. Holding a novel. Waiting to pay. I heard his voice behind me before I turned. My stomach didn't drop. My heart didn't race. I just turned, slow and steady. He looked tired. Hair longer. Eyes unsure. He blinked when he saw me. "Hey," he said. "Hi," I replied. "I didn't think I'd ever see you again." I nodded. He stepped forward. "You left." I did. "Why?" I smiled lightly. "You know why." I was confused. "No," I said. "You were dishonest." I was the one who had clarity. He looked down. He didn't argue. "I still think about you," he said. "You should," I replied. "But I don't think about you." He flinched. I stepped out of line. Put the book down. I didn't want it anymore. "I have to go," I said. "Wait," he said. "Can we talk?" "No," I said. "We already did. You just weren't listening." And with that, I turned and walked out of the store. Into the sun. Into something better. I never looked back.